Hey guys, it's Doc. And I know, a fescue calendar? I get so many requests for people saying, Doc, why don't you do something on cool season on fescue grasses? So I'm going to do something. So hold on one second. Hey guys. So I actually grew up north on fescue. I played golf and worked on golf courses, mostly in Bermuda. And then once we moved down south, it's pretty much all Bermuda. But I have so many people that request information or calendars or tips on fescue, I figured I'd go ahead since we're right about the time, especially if you're up north, that we're going to be focusing on cool season and fescue grasses. And I figured I'd give you a sort of an easy calendar to work with, also refer you to some extension calendars that you can also look at and products that you need on a fescue lawn. So let's get started. First, everything I'm talking about, and I'm going to keep this video kind of short and compacted because I put together a fescue calendar, and in the description below there's a link. You click on that and that'll take you to a web page, and everything will be on there. The calendar, the product links, everything will be on that page. It's pretty simple to use. Also, hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Remember, only good looking, cool people get to subscribe, so make the decision wisely. So let's talk about this real quick. But let's just roll over some of the stuff that you need to think about. Up north, typically they say look for the forsythia and for the dogwoods to bloom, and that's the time you want to put down your pre-emergent. I like to put it down a little bit before that. So when my soil temperature is about to hit that 51, 52 degrees, then I'll put a link to a soil temperature map that you can use on that page too to figure out what your soil temperature is. I like to put my pre-emergent down a couple weeks earlier than everyone else, and I like to put it down heavy. That's one thing I want you to do. Use the granular DG product that I list below and put it down heavy. I think too many people put down their pre-emergent lightly. Next, on pre-emergent, if you're going to do any seeding in the spring, unfortunately, you kind of have to stay away from pre-emergents. So you got to make that decision. Most people will seed their fescue in the fall, and that gives it time. We're going into a cooler period and the roots aren't going to stress, and it's a little bit better. You get a better seeding, you get a better take in the fall than you do in the spring. But a lot of people do seed in the spring and have luck. So if you want to overseed in the spring, you really can't put down pre-emergent, and unfortunately you're going to be battling weeds all through the summer. So you just got to kind of weigh that decision. Really, I'd like to see you put down strong pre-emergent and hold off your seeding to the fall if you're on fescue. Next, let's talk about fertilizers. I'm going to put a quote on that page, and it's from Clemson University. And it says, quote, in the absence of a soil test, use a 4:1:2 ratio fertilizer. Now a 4:1:2 equals a 16:4:8. So a 16:4:8 is a 4:1:2 ratio, and that's PGF complete. But PGF complete also has micronutrients. It has 3% iron, which really turns your lawn dark green. It gives it a fabulous color on your lawn. And it has humic acid inside of it and fulvic acid inside of it. Everything your lawn needs. It's a tiny particle. It's a professional grade fertilizer that's been used on golf courses and turf fields for a long time. I had Anderson specially formulate this and list it on Amazon so you can get it. And I'm going to warn you now on all these products. I actually have products in my garage for this fall that I'm starting to stack up. Order early. With all this stuff that's going on, the shelter in place and all that kind of stuff, everything is weird. Amazon is being a little bit slower with those shipments, so order early, and plan 3 to 6 months ahead. I'm just warning you. But by far, PGF Complete is absolutely the fertilizer you want to use on fescue. And we're going to do that in the spring. Now, we typically fertilize fescue late winter and in the spring, and then we stop in the summer, and then we go back to fertilizing in the fall. And why is that? It's because fescue stores a lot of nutrients inside of its roots. And we don't want to create a lot of growth energy in the summertime because it's going to cause stress, maybe disease. So we don't want to put down a lot of fertilizer. But the nice thing, the one thing I want you to get away from is I want you to get away from taking a pound or pound and a half of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet and dumping it on your lawn. I'd rather see you take that, and PGF Complete which is a milder fertilizer. It's 0.58 pounds per nitrogen per 1,000 square feet if you put it out at the bag rate. And what you can do is you can split that. You can put it out, instead of putting it out once and then sitting back for 10 or 12 weeks, you can put it down, and put it down in light coats. That's why I love this fertilizer. You're constantly adding that iron and the nutrients. Heavy rains won't wash it away. Trust me, use that split treatment and put it out. Mowing height, fescue is typically 2.5 to 3.5 inches where most people keep your fescue. Do you return your clippings? Yes, most of the time you'll return your clippings unless you have a situation where your grass grows up long because you're on vacation or you couldn't cut it because of rain. If you have a situation where you're going to get lots of clumps and real heavy clippings, pick them up. But for the majority of the time, you want to cut frequently, and just take a little bit. That's the way to cut fescue. In the springtime, when you move into the spring, if you have any grub damage, it's not a bad time to put down the double kill, and I'll list the grub killer on that page. And if you have any fungus issues, you can put down the new granular fungicide, which is a preventative and treatment. You can also put that down too. pH, fescue, you want to be 5.5 to 6.5. You do not, some people have this habit of throwing lime down every year, and you do not want to do that. You really want to get a soil test, mainly for the pH, to check your pH values. There's no reason to put down lime if you don't know your pH. You put down lime because you know your pH and you need to make an adjustment. So just don't throw down lime because someone said you need to put down lime. Aeration. I'm going to be doing, I wasn't going to do this, but I bought an aerator. I actually ordered an aerator. It's a special aerator, and I'm going to be doing aeration quite a bit on my lawn. But yes, you are going to aerate during the active growing season. So probably late spring is when you're going to do your aeration, and then maybe again in the fall. Fescue does like to be aerated. Typically you want to do your aeration when your lawn is a little bit shorter because the tines can go deeper. So just be aware of iron. In the summertime, your lawn may have a tendency to start to yellow out and not look that healthy, but you don't want to put down heavy fertilizers. So what you can do is you can take super juice and you can add some additional liquid iron to it and go out and spray your lawn. Now, super juice is very, very mild. It's not going to stimulate a whole bunch of growth. It's a mild supplement spray. And so what you can do is you're putting down a little bit of nutrients, a little bit of micros, you're putting down humic, and you're putting down iron, but you can add an additional amount of iron to it, and all of a sudden your lawn is going to turn dark green. And you can do that about every 3 or 4 weeks during the summertime without fear of burning your lawn. And especially if you get into the hot months, what you can do is you can come out like in the late afternoon, spray super juice with the iron on it, and then in the next morning, leave it on there all night. The next morning, come in and just water your lawn. Run your sprinkler systems or water your lawn, and you'll push whatever hasn't been taken up by foliar uptake, you'll push down into the roots. That's a great way to do it. Man, let me tell you what, you will see a dark green lawn. It'll be beautiful. You don't want to over iron your lawn, but about every 3-4 weeks you can do this. So just watch it. It's a great way to do it. The super juice with some extra added iron inside of it. So I sort of break this all down. I put together a chart for you guys in a calendar. Now, what's different for this year? Humichar, which is a 50-50 blend of humic acid and biochar. They're going to start another run next week. Hopefully in about 3 weeks, we're going to have it back up on Amazon. And because you're up north or you have a cool season grass, we're going to be applying that in conjunction with this cheap organic material. It's really chicken feed, and I show you how to get that. $14 for a 50-pound bag. And so what you do is you put down your humichar and you put down this cheap organic matter, and you're going to do that consistently all through the summer. Now, that is a wonderful, wonderful way to improve your soil, start to turn it into this dark, rich soil, and to feed your lawn without over boosting it through chemical fertilizers. So you need to understand that. Understand and learn humichar. It's really hard to get. The first shipment that went up sold out in 6 hours. There's 2 trucks going up to Amazon probably in a few weeks, and that'll sell out in 24 hours. So I'm just warning you, it's really hard to get. So anyways, again, I'm not going to go over a huge bunch of information about it. I put it all on the page, and over the next week or two, I'll be updating some of that information, adding more information to that fescue one. But I have so many people that watch our videos that are fescue or cool season lawns. I figured I'd go ahead and throw that up and say, what are the quality products that I can use on my lawn? The one thing you want to stay away from is you want to stay away from cheap mass consumer multiple products. In other words, weed and feeds, fertilizer and pre-emergent combined, weed killer and fertilizer combined. You always want to stay away from that stuff. You want to stay with one specific product that does one specific job so that you can control that disbursement perfectly. So you want to have perfect disbursement of your fertilizer. If you need to treat weeds, you're going to treat weeds. If you need a pre-emergent, you're going to put up, but you're not going to blend those two together. It just does not work well. So that's about it, guys. Figured I'd get this up and posted for you. We got so much left to do. I got 8 videos up in queue that we're kind of working on. Again, that I'm buying that. I've ordered a special aerator because we're going to be doing a lot of aerating this year. I got 4 lawns to do this year, and we're going to be doing this aerator. What's cool about it, not only will it pull plugs, but then I can also switch out the tines, and it has a solid tine, just like a golf green. Sometimes they do it, a solid tine that doesn't pull the plugs. So it's going to be fun. We'll be playing with that too. That's about it, and talk to you later. Doc.